Keep talking.
for sure.
Okay, we're live. Careful of your language. We're
Yes, ma'am.
live. So, friends, welcome. I'm so happy that I am live streaming with one of my favorite people today, Shirley Ann Felder. It's that big Mama Cheryl.
Yeah, that's my Instagram.
So, if you want to find, do you post all of your TikToks on Instagram?
Yes, they're posted on Instagram and then onto
On
Facebook as well.
Facebook. So if you want to see some of the best TikToks on the planet, big mom, no mama, just mom.
Mama.
Big,
Oh, I missed an A.
you missed
Oopsie.
an A. Big mama Cheryl,
I'm gonna fix it.
because your Instagrams are the best. We should find a way to share some of your TikToks.
I don't
So
know.
that would be so funny. So this is our coach and coffee chat. So last month I was with Blake and we were talking about abundance and rube abundance and how we do. I mean, we do have tons of abundance in our lives, don't we? I mean, even if I look back, even in the times when I've felt like it wasn't the best time of my life, I still had a lot of good going on, you know? And so we were just talking before about stuff going on. So, what are you doing? Are you finding us a TikTok?
No, I was trying to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I forgot and I hit. You know what comes up automatically now, right? Clubhouse. Took
Oh no,
me right to a
I'm not.
room.
I'm not allowed in Clubhouse because I'm
No.
still on an Android phone.
Ah, okay.
Still super exclusive to you Apple people. So, and Shirley is a coach as well. I mean, we're both coaches, and you do so much. I mean, I remember the first time I met you, the very first time I met you live in person. Do you remember when that was?
Where were we? We're in Canada. Were we doing the speakers thing?
We were in Canada. I think it was a
Oh
speakers
yeah,
thing. It
it was the
was
speakers thing. Yeah, it was a
at the
group of
hotel.
ladies we were with. Yes, yes,
Yes. And
yes.
you came up to me and you're talking to me and you're like, I do women's empowerment. And you just started talking to me. I'm like, wow, do you ever?
Say no to drugs, Shirley.
You don't need them. You don't need them at all.
Could you
So tell me
imagine?
how you got into, like, how did you make that? Because you were in construction before, right?
I was in sanitation and recycling.
Oh, sanitation.
Yeah,
Somehow that
so
became construction in my head.
same difference. Dumpster, cleanup, demo,
Guys,
same
lots of
family.
guys.
Oh yeah.
And then how did you swing that over into women's empowerment? What made that switch?
Well, we've all reached the point of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? So, in all honesty, I was forced into a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And what I had realized, right? What I had realized in doing all that, because we have a pity party and oh, woe is me, and I'm a failure and I'm in this and that. But in the midst of all of that, I had been doing so many other things. I had served on 14 boards in my county. I'd served on one state board. I was in a women's organization. I was volunteering here and there on Head Start, doing all these things. And what I was really doing was networking, right? Meeting amazing women, because on most of these boards, there's only a few men. On most of these boards, it's women, right? So I'm meeting all these amazing,
Really?
oh
I would
yeah,
have thought it'd be the other way.
the chambers and some of those, but the other ones are basically men. I mean, basically women,
Right.
because they're things that matter to the community,
Mm,
children, health, things of that nature.
right.
So what I realized is that I had a plethora of of information and experience, and I'm a college dropout, right? So for me, I was just sucking. I'm always sucking up knowledge. I'm an eternal learner, right? And I'm an auditory learner, so you can't put me in a classroom and expect me to suck it in. I've got to experience it, roll up my sleeves, take a bite out of it, all those fun things. So what happened was I'm sitting here feeling sorry for myself, and I'm like, you know what, you got to this is preparing for the bankruptcy, right? I knew it was inevitable. I tried to avoid it. And then I saw an ad, or a friend told me about CCF.
Oh, right.
I was
Certified
like,
Coaches Federation. Woo,
yeah.
woo, woo.
So I was like, you know what? I don't want to be a coach. I did that when I played sports. I don't want to be a coach. What's a coach, right? And then I was like, all right, no, I just want to talk. And then everywhere I was looking, there was nowhere really to talk that was less than $25,000. And so I was like,
Right.
all right, I'll pay $25,000 if you guarantee me some work afterwards, right? But
That's a
no
big
one's
ticket.
willing to do that, right? So then I was like, all right, I can't do it. So then I asked another friend, I was like, I saw you went and got coach. I'm just looking for acronyms and certification at this point. I'm desperate, right? I just want to find a place that will let me speak, that I can share all this stuff in all these boxes and notebooks that I've been, accumulating notes for 20 something years, right?
Right.
And so my friend said, "Oh yeah, I went to this thing called CCF, and I got my certification." I was like, "Really? I like that."
Got some letters.
Yeah. So I was like, "All right, let me look it up." It was feasible. It was over the weekend, and in my brain, though, I have to be honest, I was like, "What could I really learn in a weekend?" Right? I was
I
like,
know.
"This is some scam," and I really said that. I said, "This is some scam," but you know what? Scam on me because I need that certificate, right?
Right.
And I
I'll
went.
do it.
Of course, and it wasn't a scam. And my what was it, half day in, the first day in at lunchtime, I'm still like, am I smart enough? Am I good enough to be a coach? I'm still asking myself, that little dude on the shoulder that I call Tootsie Roll or Fruit Loop.
Oh, it
Right?
has a name.
Yeah, I give it a name. In my coaching, right? I teach my clients to give it a name, but not a serious name, a name that, when you think about it, you just crack up like, really? So, like cucumber, Tootsie Roll, Fruit Loop, anything like that.
I think I'll call
Um,
mine Bubba.
See, there you go. So, nothing that it's like, really, Bubba, right? Bubba's in prison. Get over yourself. So that's what I do. So, when my little Fruit Loop starts talking to me in that class, and then we take a break for lunch, and Derek says to me, um, you really should think about working with our company. I'd love for you to work with us. And I
I
was
could
like,
see that. I could
and
see
I was
that
like, work,
absolutely.
work with you. Oh my God, I'm almost out of a job. I'm about to close up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I'll think about it. But inside I was
You're like,
like,
playing it cool.
yeah, I'll think about it. Maybe your company wants me, right? And then the next week I'm calling home. Guess what? Now, I didn't know it was what it was, but it turned out to be phenomenal. And it was, everything happens at the right time as long as you're in motion, right? It's when you
Yeah.
stop, things don't happen. So you got to be in motion, taking action. And so that's how I pivoted to coaching. I wanted to just speak. I wanted to just hit the stage because I've been doing it in different places, right? For the chambers. I've always been in network marketing. So I've always been with an all natural product for 20 plus years as well. So I've always
Which
had my
one?
hand.
You're allowed to drop names. Which one?
I'm with Protandem right now. So it's
All
Life Van.
right.
So I was doing that for years. And so I was like, you know what? Let me just do that. And I was like, no, no one's gonna let you talk yet. You gotta have to prove some stuff. I was like, all right, I'll be a coach. And then I realized that that's really what you're doing from the stage when you're talking. And for
Right.
me, I know one thing for sure, and I can say it, little puns coming from the garbage industry, right? God doesn't make junk, whoever your God is, right? Even if your God is you, more power to you. But God doesn't make junk. We do when we're done disposing and using of things, right? And we do if we don't use it.
All
So
right.
I've been given gifts and talents. I have a mouthpiece. I have a sense of humor. I have a little perverse, little humor and stuff. So I speak Manglish and, little German. So it's really cool. I get to blend and fit in anywhere. If you make me mad, my eyes slant a little. So you don't know what nationality I am. You just park my little butt anywhere. And I love that because I love people. We were put on this planet to give and receive love, to communicate, right? And
Yeah.
so this pandemic is really affecting people tremendously.
Oh
So
my gosh.
what a beautiful time to be a coach if you're about your coaching, because
Right.
people need that connection and they need advice and they need someone to talk to. And it's just cool stuff. And I love it. And they ask you, what would you do if money didn't matter? I'd still be doing this. I wouldn't
Right.
change a thing. I'd probably be a little braver and do a little bit more comedy because inside of me, I'm just dying to be a comedian.
A little
So,
stand up with your microphone.
I love it. Yeah. Look, this mic.
You could do it now, You could just do a stand up live stream on TikTok. You're already
no,
doing it. You're
look,
already doing it.
Yeah, but I hide. I say I hide behind those voices. But it is so much fun. So much fun, right? That you can hide. So you can say, well, that wasn't really me. Sure, it wasn't.
It
And
was very you. You're making those choices. That is you.
for
That is you
sure,
100%.
for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. And how long ago was that? Did you do your certified coaches in
No,
the US?
I'm 7 years in.
7 years? Woo, look at
Yeah,
you.
one piece of the furniture. I'm 7 years in, and I'm very grateful to Derek and Marsha and Rod. Rod is my coach now, but I started, as of course as being that old in the company. Derek was my coach,
Right.
and there were times that I was struggling, through my bankruptcy. There was times that I was mentally and emotionally struggling too, and they had more faith in me than I had in myself, and they had more patience with me. And Derek knows how to piss me off in a good way, right? He said, Derek is an acquired taste, right? And
Yeah,
he knows how to piss me off in the right way. And it's always telling me you're selfish. You haven't made a video yourself. You can't call Shirley selfish. I take that personal.
right. He
'Cause
knows what to say.
yeah, I'm anything but, right? But every now and then, I go in the video and I'm like, all right, let me make myself a little younger today. Oh God, I'm gonna talk, they're gonna see this. And then it's, oh, what am I gonna talk about today? And as you can tell, I don't shut up. So why don't I do videos?
And I don't know, like, why you would think that you wouldn't have something to say.
We get, Tootsie Roll, Tootsie
Tootsie
Roll.
Roll, Bubba.
We all get in our own little head, and sometimes I'm like, I'm just talking to the wall. Is anybody here? And video isn't like, speaking, doing just blank videos. Not like you and I get to see you nod your head, laugh a little. So I'm like, all right, it's working, right? And you're staring into space, like I hope someone's out there listening.
So you know what were you there when Blake said what he did? He used to do, he put a little lizard above his camera and he would just tell jokes to the lizard.
No, I just pee my pants thinking about a lizard. That would work for me. You have to put up like a stick with like some famous hot actor or something up there for me.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
Speaking of that TikTok, right? The one with Shamar Moore. And I said, I want to keep him. Oh my God, I love that one. That's the fun though of TikTok. The fun is that you get to do and be something else than your normal self, right? It helps you free yourself from all that judgment. Oh my God, am I going to look this way? Are people going to, did you see those people on TikTok? They're crazy. They're
Right?
absolutely insane. Most of them don't wear any clothes. At least I've kept my clothes on so far, right? So far. I don't want to scare my future clients away.
You have
But
kids, right?
yeah, but they're grown. They know I'm crazy.
Okay.
They lived with me. I have trust funds for their psychological trauma for later. when I when I did the ones with the whips, did you see the one with the whips? So the guy
Oh,
says, I play rough and dirty, and he pulls out a whip. I was like, no, he didn't. So I was like, don't I have some old whips that we used for something before? And I went digging through the closet and I found them because I was all kinds of props and silliness, right? And I
oh
found them.
my
I was
God.
like, I got this. So he's like, I play rough and dirty. I was swinging two whips, right? And I bit one off. I was like, oh, really?
Oh my gosh.
But the
I think I
fun,
did see that and I couldn't figure out where he got the whips from.
long story, but I never used them. Don't worry.
It's okay if you did. No judging, no judging.
That hurts. You can't. You whip me, I'm punching you.
Right? Oh my
But it
gosh.
was so much fun. When I did that, I'm telling you, I was laughing so hard. I had to redo it. I'm wiping my eyes. I'm falling off the chair. I was like, did I really just do that? I
You
even
really did.
I went in the closet and I dug up a old red leather see-through thing. I was like, dang, you ain't worn that in 10 years, girl. You still fit it too? Thank God for stretchy material. And so I was like, I'm going to do this. The next morning, my poor baby, my daughter, is doing her own TikTok to say, and you wonder why I'm crazy. I'm collecting funds for my therapy. And she's like, and then she, does a little thing on her Facebook to say, are you guys kidding me? You know my mother by now. but but that was really out of my comfort. Like that was Even though people thought it was very comfortable for me, it was, my armpits were sweaty. I was such a stretch. But when it
Right.
was done, I was like, yeah.
Well, it's like I was listening to something yesterday. I was listening to an audiobook yesterday, and she said, if you stand up and face your fear, I mean, I don't know if you have to bring a whip with you, but if you stand up and face your fear, then your fear goes away because it was just you who put it there. So if you stand up and face it, it goes away.
And in coaching, right? In coaching, that's what we learn. That's why we're good coaches. Because I just made a new friend. I was just telling you earlier when we were talking before the show. I've made some amazing friends in the UK, right? Like I have tons of friends that I love dearly in Canada. But I've made some amazing friends through Clubhouse in the UK. And
Oh
my
wow.
yeah, and my friend Mark, he's a writer for Entrepreneur Magazine and Brains Magazine, and he said that we can never bring someone from where we've never come from, right? We can't take them somewhere if we've never. We can bring them from there to the next thing if we've never been there, and. And I questioned myself when I became a coach. I was like, no, you're not qualified to be a coach. You can't just speak. Just shut up and speak, Shirley. No coaching, right? And I realized that what I speak about and what I can coach about, and I always used to get on myself also because I have no formal education, right? So I'm always talking about that because it was such a stigma for me for a long time, and it still comes up. I bring it up. It's a badge I wear, and I'm cool with it. I'm sure some people get sick of hearing it, but it's my stuff. I get to wear it,
Yeah.
and so because I didn't have that formal training based on what we're taught, if people go to college, they're smart and the rest of us are dumb, right? I've met
Right.
some amazing people with many degrees that couldn't get out of a paper bag, right? So, however, so that was you're not qualified to coach, just speak. And I realized that I am qualified to teach and coach my experience. Doesn't make me an expert at the whole picture. It makes me an expert at my experience. And if I can tell people that this is my experience, this is what happened to me. Now here's an example. Now go forth and handle your business, right? And that's pretty much my thing.
Right.
And then in coaching, I was concerned about, oh my God, what if people aren't successful after I've coached them and I've spoken to them and I've helped them, right? Oh, what if I'm not good? And then I did this amazing personality test, right? Through
Oh,
you.
right. You were talking about that.
Yeah, it just, so many things. When I keep learning, I keep, evolving, right? That's what we're supposed to do. So I took this personality test with my coach, Allegra. I'm like herding cats. Poor Rod, just pray for him, right? I'm like herding cats. And so I need mini coaches because I've got all this energy and stuff, right? And
I
so I've
think
been
I saw you on her website. Is
Allegra.
that you pulling the bow and arrow?
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Thought
Yeah.
that was you.
Yeah. So with Allegra, she just has a unique way of doing things, right? And so she catches my attention, and I learned so many golden nuggets from her. But this personality test, she's been trying to get me to do it for a while, and I'm like, I did it. OMG, was it like the best thing I could have ever done? Because sometimes, no matter how much training we have, how much experience, we still got Tootsie Roll, right? And you still got Bubba,
Still got
and
Bubba.
yeah, and so we have to keep in mind that they're always going to appear for us, and we always have to be able to have these tools that we say, "Oh, you talking today? Tootsie Roll, take this," and so
Bing.
we have to have these weapons, right, to disarm this stuff so that we can get to what we're really good at. And so when I took this personality test, it told me my 5 strengths, and I was like, "No," I didn't even like the words. I just wanted to fight everything, right? I was like, I'm not that, and I'm not that, and I'm not that. And then it gave me my values. And I was like, get out of here. Those aren't my values. Right. Because I just wanted to dispute it and fight with it, because what we resist
Because
persists.
you're scrappy.
Yeah, I have those issues. So I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I gotta have some issues. Can't be
Right.
all perfect. Perfect doesn't exist.
You got a whip, though.
Yes, I do. I raised 7 kids. I needed something around here. But anyway, so I took this test, and then I did, this. we did a workshop and this beautiful work where we're speaking, making statements about who we are, getting comfortable with our coaching, because it's very hard. People say, "Oh, what do you do?" A coach, right?
Coach, a
Like,
coach.
we have a hard time. For me, I have a hard time because I'm always feeling like I need to be selling myself, and I don't like that. I just want to be me. And so when we understand who we are, then we know how we are and what we can do with it. And
Right.
that's powerful. And then when we learn it, we can teach our clients, and then it's just bad ass. I had to say that one, right?
I don't
Right.
think Facebook bleeps out swear words. They just bleep out music.
If they did, they would bleep half of my videos.
I know.
So then I realized that, yes, I am an includer. I love to include everyone. Just like you said, when you first met me, I walked right into the crowd of women and I was like, well, I need to be included into here and I need them to be included into my circle, right?
And that's a
And
huge strength because I was new in that group. Like I didn't know anybody. And I was standing there going, how am I going to talk to these people? Because I have my Bubba who's like, you shouldn't be going in there. And then you just came right on in. I'm like, just going to follow her around.
right? So that's the beauty of this. When you know who you are, you don't need excuses, you don't need makeup on, you don't need any of these things. And once you get comfortable with that, right, then you don't have to do any pretend stuff. Know that whoever and whatever you are and whatever you do will speak to the person that is supposed to hear it and see it. And if I say something that doesn't connect with people, I'm just not your girl. I ain't
Right.
mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not your girl. I'm not everybody's flavor, right? Because I'm going to curse. I'm going to make some crude jokes about men. They've been doing about us for years. So I'm going to just abuse them verbally and bash their bodies and enjoy them, right? Because I can get away with that stuff. And I'm going to talk about the realities of life, being a parent, being a spouse, being divorced, being married, losing your money, gaining your money, right? Being scammed. I'm going to talk about it all because I like to talk about the stuff people are afraid to talk about. They're scared. I ain't scared.
Right. And I mean, as Derek says, if you don't share it, people don't know what you're about. And
Right.
then you're denying those people who need you to find you. If they can't hear you, they can't find you.
That's right. But I'm telling you, that personality test was so powerful for me. I mean, you've met me a few years, you know me, but like I know me, but man, I didn't know me. I knew me, but we're like, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Well,
And
it's
then you,
funny because when I first met you, you were huge, but because we were in an online meeting together, after when you were talking about that online personality thing, you were huger. I don't know how you did it, but there was more of you than there was before.
I use the whip. I've contained her some, right? I've contained her some.
Don't let her run. Let her run. She's good.
But yeah, so I just know that I'm so I'm so blessed in so many ways. People could look at my life and say, oh, I'm so sorry you lost your mother at so young. Yeah, it sucked big time. You're
Yeah.
you're 12. I just turned 12 a month
Wow.
ago. And mommy dies. And it's the
Wow.
first time I ever leave her. And now she's gone. And I'm a girl. So you know what that means? It's all my fault. Right?
Right?
I left mommy for the first time. I should have been keeping an eye on mommy, and it's all my fault.
Oh my
Because if
gosh.
I was with her, this wouldn't have happened. So I was an angry teenager. I had my own little gang. I was an angry teenager because my mother was gone, and my aunt was tough, but she was tough. I was a rebel, and I would not have wanted to raise me. Can you imagine trying to raise me?
No.
I'm not much different than before. Trust and believe.
Gonna say
Even though I used to say, "Oh, I
more
was
power
so
to them.
I used to say I was so quiet." Yeah, okay, right.
I was the quiet one, but you got to watch out for the quiet ones.
I know. I tell people that all the time. But yeah, so my mother's passing, though very unfortunate, and though it sucked, and I miss her every day. And it's 42 years, believe
Wow.
it or not. 42, no, it'll be 43 years this year, but it's like it was yesterday because that's how larger than life mommy was. And people say, "Oh, you're so like your mother." I'm not a pimple on her butt, so imagine who she was. Okay,
Right.
and so I miss her every day. However, her passing gave me my purpose and my mission on this planet because I truly believe that no woman should have to die because she doesn't have a clubhouse, a Facebook, an Instagram, a tribe, a group of people where she can just go and share and not be judged, be loved, and have people hold that space for her to release and then give her love back. That is so damn powerful.
Right.
And
That's
that's what,
huge.
yeah. And so that's in my humor, in all my little ways, that's all I try to do is open that space for people to just let their hair hang if they have any. And if they don't, let the wind hit their scalp. I don't really care. Right. And be a little funny, be a little, be a whatever little of you want to be,
Let
because
yourself out a little, right?
you are constructed that way for a reason. And I was in a room today earlier, and we were talking about judgment. It's so funny.
Mhm.
We're talking about how to
Wow.
handle. Yeah, we have some really amazing groups in this room, rooms in this group, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Topics.
No, because I'm not in Clubhouse.
Oh, so we have some amazing topics. Our group is called Bread for the Brain.
Wow. Okay.
And so I'm going to be doing a room there every Tuesday, I think at 11 o'clock. I don't really like
Everybody,
Mondays.
write that down.
I think at 11 o'clock I'm going to be doing it. And it's
Eastern time.
for now. For now, and I might change the room. I might do a little poll and learn some technology because that is my weakness. And so I'm going to do a little poll because right now the room is called "Come Give or Receive Your Slice of," right? And so it'll be of maybe some your strengths, your values, whatever it is that I pick for the day, or it could be a word, and let's talk about it. And then again, I just did a DNA test. I'm just going to go out there. My daughter's been waiting for me to say it.
Whoa, whoa.
I did and talk about the power of your mother and what women hold. I just did a DNA test, and for most of my life, I thought that I was 50% Jewish and 50% African American. So, of course, when my oldest brother sees this, he's probably going to pass out. He's like, "Oh my God, you're talking about it. It's my life. Get over it." And I share with the people who love me because I keep it real. I take
Right.
this test, and I find out I'm 50%, of course, African American because I know my mama.
Uh-huh.
Also 50% European Jewish. Woo! What a shocker. What a shocker. Right? So all of these things that I keep doing and evolve and teaches me different things. So my favorite bread, because I live in upstate New York, it's called the Borscht Belt,
Is
right?
it?
Yeah, it used to be called the Borscht Belt. Just a mixture of everybody used to come here. This is where the original Woodstock was.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it's only like 18 minutes from my house.
Oh my
So
God.
and then after a certain amount of years, after the 80s, the Orthodox Jewish came here and built up everywhere. So they have camps and summer homes and all this stuff here, right? And so most of my business, when I was in the garbage business, I used to do $1.3 million in 10 weeks. In
Of
10
garbage?
weeks of garbage with predominantly the Orthodox Hasidic community.
Wow.
And so my favorite bread is challah bread, right? And so I thought maybe I'd change the room to cornbread and challah.
I like both of them, actually.
Yeah, I have such a demented sense of humor, which is great. It keeps me from taking way too much personal. Could you imagine if I took all this stuff personal?
Oh my gosh. Right?
But back to the serious side.
Okay.
So that was one of my mother's secrets. She took that
Oh,
to her grave with her. Everybody thought I was Puerto Rican. They gave me a million different Puerto Rican daddies. But my mother was a maid for a lot of wealthy Jewish people here. We're
right.
talking the 60s.
Yeah. Free love.
I wonder what happened since she was married with 4 older boys and her husband was 6 foot tall. I don't believe she voluntarily did that. Right?
Right.
And so she took that to her grave with her. So before I knew this, I just knew mommy had a lot of stress on her. She went through a lot of things. She had started drinking. Her life was hard. I was the baby. My older brothers were all gone. It was just me and her, and she was struggling, and she
Right.
didn't have those friends. And now to add that to her, man, did she have some stuff on her shoulders. So when I look at my purpose, back to what I do now, it's not only my purpose, it's my passion, it's what I must do. And I must create tribes and avenues and pathways and circles for women to be able to not carry those things around. Now, I didn't say come join my circle and be a victim. That's not it, because there is no victimhood where I live, right?
And you can do
There's
that by yourself.
That's right. That's right. My mother used to say, misery loves company, right? She's like, you could do bad by yourself. She was a Southern woman. You could do bad by yourself, girl. So there is no victim parties. We're not going to have victim parties, right? We're going to have victory parties, because we're going to be like, oh, peel back the bit. That's why I feel the way I feel. That's why I do what I do. Now I'm aware of it. Your name is called Fruit Loop Tootsie Roll. Now let's keep it moving. I got things to do, places to go, people to meet, right?
Videos to make.
There you go. There you go. So that's what brings like all of what I do in full circle.
Wow.
I did the garbage business. I did construction before that. You were right. I forgot to even share that. So I was in the lumber construction business.
I
You
was
forget.
listening. I was
I
listening.
know. I love you. So I did the garbage construction, a company called Wagner Sitel, for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years before I went into the garbage business. And then I went into the scrap metal exporting business. So, and kept around trucking. And
Right.
and then, oh no, you have to close your business because people didn't pay you $250,000. Of course, in the background, people are like, oh, she's such a horrible business person. You get over being horrible after year 2, year 5, year 10. When you hit 24, you're as bad as you want to be. They can talk about whatever they want. If they can do what I did, bring it on. Other than that, find your place, slow your roll until you walked in my shoes. So in
Right.
2009, people had owed me over $250,000 when the economy crashed. And I
Right.
hung on like a superhero, right? Tugging that load until 2016. And then a local woman here in power was trying to give me a rough time. Oh, you should pay this and you should do this. And you've probably got money and, in some island somewhere. I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach her who she's playing with. So didn't know anything really about business. All I know is I make a deal. I have a contract. I give you my word. I provide service. You pay me. That's called a business transaction, right? And I'm
Yep.
good with people. I'm honest. People appreciate me. I appreciate them when they pay. And that's how I did for 24 years. But then when that happened and she pushed me, another woman, because, women are the biggest bullies to each other too.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
lesson there. So when she pushed me, oh, Cheryl McCalls, and I love dropping names. So when she pushed me, I was like, all right, now how do I fight her back? Because she's pushing me just before Christmas. And my staff needs Christmas gifts. They need food. They need happiness. I'm not playing that with her. She's not playing with my people. She can play with me, not my people, right?
Yeah.
And so I made some phone calls, found out what I can do. And then that's when I heard about this thing called Chapter 11.
There
And
it
that's when
is.
I try to reconstruct and try to reorganize. And then I was reorganizing, restructuring. I was still sweating it out. I was like, wait a minute. I don't have anything to prove. I did this for 24 years. I've employed over 150 men, took 10 women from welfare to work, grossed over $65 million, which means there's a lot of that sales tax money in the kitty of this community.
Oh, yeah.
I don't owe anybody. My babies are grown. I'm a grandma. Go and do your thing, girl. Next level. And then that's when I picked up the phone and met Derek and started my CCF career and becoming a coach and just loving to do what I do. And
And
that's how I met
holy
you.
moly. Yeah. It's like, that is like a huge like, I think a lot of people feel like if a chapter 11 is like some kind of personal statement to who they are. I'm like, it's business. Who cares?
See, I didn't know that though. So
Right.
again, you're talking about someone with no formal education. I was my class
Yeah.
president, right? But no
But look at
formal
what you were
education.
running. Who cares?
Well, and
Education.
I was in 2 states too. I was in New
You were
York.
killing it. You were
Whoop,
killing
whoop,
it.
right? And I was so humble. Most people didn't know. Like you didn't even know I was doing half that stuff, right? And I talk a lot in our group. But I was doing all those things, and it gave me all this experience. And I did. I threw a pity party. Now I don't throw pity parties for long. Depends on the type. So this was a big penny party, going from paying yourself big bucks to having no bucks, right?
Right.
Going from, and so your friends change, your family change, everything changes, And
It's like
here's the
getting
question.
divorced.
Oh, I did that in 2011. I lost 285 pounds in 2011, and
Ooh.
we're good friends. We didn't part as enemies, but that's who I am. It could have been nasty. There's no
Yeah.
need. You spend more time being angry. Think about it. When you're mad at somebody, how can I make them mad? And what can I do? Oh my God, all that space up here you're giving them. They
Too
rent the
much
whole.
energy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it didn't work. You decided to cheat. I'm so sorry. Okay, how can we just end this politely and I can take my name back and we can be friends and kiss wake up and we'll love our children. Bye, Felicia. Right? And he's happily married now.
Oh,
And
good.
no, yeah, and he lives right down the road. It's no animosity. And if he does, he hides it. And I don't have any. It allowed me to do a couple of things. Again, not talking bad about him. 18 years I was married and we created and built that business together. Unfortunately, the last few years he wasn't there, to ride it out. But the thing is that we built our families, we helped so many communities and so many people that it had its purpose. It served its time. And then
Right.
once I was no longer married, which is another lesson for women. Now, if you're happily married, don't go home and beat your husband. Okay. Don't do that.
Right. Don't
Don't
do it.
please don't and don't tell him Shirley sent you, whatever you do, right? but but here's the
Like
thing.
calling you up.
You told my wife, excuse me, go back to the tape. I told her not to beat you.
They saw your TikTok video with the whip.
or with the five men, 5 types of men you need to know, right? Four, but the fifth is they never meet each other. But so what that did though, that divorce, some people say, oh my God, 18 years, it's half your life. Yes, it was half my life, but I'm going to live forever. So I got a whole bunch more lives to live. And the thing was that we grew from that, both of us. And he moved on, has his life, and I moved on. Now, I'm single. I dated for a little while. I'm single 7 years. I'm having a blast on these dating sites. I'm learning about people and what makes men tick because I speak Manglish. I employed over 150 men. You don't think half of them sat in my office complaining about their wives or what am I going to do about her? Or how do I handle my teenager? So I'm an expert at relationships. Okay. In my
Right.
divorce, it only cost me $2,500 and that was to the lawyer.
That's a deal.
And I wrote up the paperwork and she approved it. And he was like, I don't need a lawyer to fight it because I'm good like that. Right. So I understand relationships. I know how to communicate. I convey clearly my message, never let it be misunderstood. But I love learning what makes people tick. Right. So that when I get the next client or the next friend and they have that problem, like, oh, wait, I remember him. He was on Tinder. Let me tell you about what you're doing right now. Like, oh
Don't
my
let that one meet that one.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, she's so smart." Nope, experienced.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love listening to people and sharing, and life is so short and so precious.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we just can't take it. I mean, life is serious, but we just can't take it like everything is the end of the world. If cliche, if one door opens, one door shuts, another one opens. But here's the thing: I was forced into bankruptcy. I went kicking and screaming for a little while. Right? No, this is my baby. I'm going to keep it. I built it from one truck to 50 trucks. No way. And the most beautiful thing happened from it. I was free to make choices. I wasn't strapped down to a brick and mortar building. I could travel the world, meet people, make some of the best friends in Canada and around the world.
And you get to
And
help more people.
yeah, and I'm not just restricted to this area doing this. And I know, like this morning, I opened up my Instagram. I'm not going to cry because I'm always funny, but it's very serious to me and very personal. This woman sent me a message and a recording of me that she was like, I listened to you on Clubhouse last night. Girl, you are changing my life. I'm so happy. And she's in Finland, by the way. She's in
Wow.
Finland. And she says, I need a sister like you because in the room, she was talking about, she's like, I'm broken. I want a husband. I've been divorced now, for 6 or 7 years, and I'm lonely and I have children, and no man wants me because I'm broken. And I read her bio. I'm broken? Girl, you are an engineer. You are a chief executive engineer. You are running shit. You are not broken. You are not broken.
Exactly.
Men just can't handle that power. May the
Right?
force be with them. They just can't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying anything bad about men, but we've all been programmed, right?
Had to
And we
define
have to do so
yourself.
much deprogramming. So men have been programmed to be our savior and help the poor little woman. We are no punks. We're not scared anymore. We're taking the lead. So, there's a saying, lead, follower, get out of the way. If you hot and sexy and you smart, right? You don't have to get out my way, but stand on my side. Let's do it together. But I'm not behind you. You best better believe that. I've never stood behind a man, and I'm not going to start. And I'm not going to start. And with that being said, I'm not saying go home and shake the tree, but I'm saying if what you're in right now is not working for you, right? Set up your life till it works for you. Live your best
Right.
life ever, whatever that is. I don't care if it's baking cookies. I don't care if it's doing hair. I don't care if it's crocheting hats. I don't care what it is, but make it work for you. Because once you have children and you get married, we forget who we are.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We forget. My new saying is, I started about a year ago with a group I had here. Yeah, it was a year ago. I'm going to tell on myself. But right at the beginning of COVID, when we were banned, I had a group of 5 women in my house for the weekend. We did a little mini retreat, and it just came about then. And I was like, "Girl, you forget whose shoes you walking in." And so that's my when a woman says, "Oh, I'm not," and I'm not, I'm like, don't forget whose shoes you walking in. You walk those shoes. You did what you did in those shoes. And we take
Right.
them off, and then we're like, we're broken and we're not. Oh, yes, you are. Put those shoes back on. Put
Yeah.
those shoes back on and walk around. I step
Get
in
those
them, girl.
high-heeled ones.
Yeah, make a swing, do your thing. And that's so important because it's like, oh, I'm going to make dinner for the kids and I'm going to make what they like and I'm going to make myself something else, right? And I'll tell you this quick story.
Yeah.
Someone shared it with me. So there was this woman who was married and she had 3 children. And every Friday she made ziti with meat sauce, right?
Right. Yeah.
And her family just assumed she loved it because she made it every Friday. She knew that her husband and her boys loved it, right? So now the boys have gone off to school, and it's just her and her husband, and it's a Friday night, and he says, "You know what, hon?" She had a bad week at work, so he's like, "You know what, hon? I'm gonna I'm gonna order out dinner for us tonight. Okay, I'm gonna order out a surprise for you." And she's like, "Okay, great. Oh my God, are you okay?" And he's like, you just had a rough week, and I love you, and I want you to relax, put your feet up and relax. And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna take a bath, and then I'm gonna come out for dinner." And she does that. She comes out for dinner, and the delivery guy knocks at the door, and then he brings the food and he sets it all out, and she's just waiting, and he opens up, and it's ziti with me. She's like, "The kids have been gone for 6 months. Have you noticed I've never made that on a Friday again?" And so what happens is we get accustomed to doing that for people, and we teach them how to treat us. We teach them a pattern because we put ourselves last as women. We are never first. The kids have raggy shoes. Oh, the kids got to have shoes, right? They're only 25 pounds soaking wet. They can do it out. I'm a little heavier. I need new shoes. But it's just all those things. My husband, he's so good to me. I have to do all these things. I'm not saying don't do good things for your family, but don't put you on the back burner. Put your mask on first.
Right.
And those are powerful tools for women.
Yeah.
Powerful tools. I wake up every morning. I won't give all the details on here, but I've given it in our group. I wake up every morning. I put a mirror in a certain position. I walk past it, and I'm an ex-athlete. So for anyone who is listening to this and knows me, they wouldn't look at my body today and know I'm an ex-athlete. But I was an extreme athlete at some point in my life. And gaining weight and having a kid, my body just didn't go back, even though she's 34 years old soon. And my body just didn't go back. And I wasn't willing to do the work to put it back there because that's a lot of work, right? And so it took me a long time to accept all of me, my insanity, my humor, my education, my experience, and all of these extra curves and waves that I got on my body. And it took me a long time to accept that. And when I stepped into accepting that, I walked, one of my main things to do every morning on the way to the potty is look at that mirror and say, damn, you sexy. Now, it's up to someone else to dispute or refute that later on in the day if they got enough nerve, right? But for me, I've set the day that I am enough, I'm acceptable and beautiful to me. And before I walk out my house door, I say, I got this. Because you never know what kind of ugliness is out there.
You
People
don't
are
know.
hurting, and hurt people hurt others, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot now, right? So many people
So
are
much,
so tired of what's going on, and they're
so
they're
much.
hitting the edge of their fringes, right? I was walking down the stairs in my building yesterday and heard an altercation because somebody was wearing a mask and somebody wasn't, and it's just people people need a little extra patience right now, but nobody's got any to give.
It's true. And I feel like, this whole lockdown thing is just it's just unfamiliar territory for us. Well, now it's a year old, but
Yeah,
when it first came about, it's unfamiliar territory. And it's hard for people. We have no limits. We're Americans. What are you talking about? We're humans. We're adults, right? And
you can't
and
tell
so
us what to do.
yeah, and try to restrict the New Yorker. Come on, what are you talking about? Get out of here. Forget about it, right? and and so it's horrible. And so like you guys are now in a lockdown again, and my friends in the UK
Again,
are in a lockdown here. And I'm like, oh my God, can we just get a break here? Can we just get a break? But I will say that I really grew in our lockdown. And I know people are going to be like, you really grew, Shirley. No, I really grew. Again, you think you know yourself. And if I'm blessed, right? I'm blessed that I can look at my Facebook every day right now and relive so many beautiful moments, so many amazing people that have left such impressions on my life that my life could never be the same after meeting them, right? And
right?
so I'm not as lonely as some people are. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm single, so I'd like something a little warm next to me every now and then, right? but but I'm not as lonely because I can look at those memories and smile like, oh, remember we ate that and she dropped the ice cream on her and oh, she had 3 wines too many and she just let her mouth rip right before her husband and hers. And I can relive all of those events and have a great time because I got out of my own way and I just went and met people and did. Sometimes I would get in my car and be like, where am I going today? Oh, I'm going to North Carolina. And I
Just
went,
like that.
oh, I'm going to see Sam Black in Canada. And I went, right? And I did those things. I'm going to go see my family in DC and Maryland. I'm going to go see my best friend from high school. And I would just go on a weekend, just go and rip. What a beautiful gift to be able to do that. Not everyone can.
Right. And you
So,
don't have the bricks and mortar now, so you're a free spirit. You go.
right, exactly. And I could do the work that I do anywhere
Yeah,
now, right?
exactly.
Thanks to the thing I fear so much, technology. But the beautiful thing is that when we had the lockdown, I couldn't do that.
Right.
And I found out another secret about myself I didn't know. And I've been doing personal development work for 27 years. I know me. No, I did not. I couldn't sit still with myself.
Right.
I was climbing the trees out there. Could you imagine me climbing the trees? But you get the point.
Yes, I can.
Did you see the Tarzan call when I did? Oh my
I
God.
didn't see you, but I can see you climbing trees.
So when I go into local places here, they know I enter the stores and things because I say, oh, so I do that call. So I have a TikTok where I'm holding a tree branch that fell outside and I'm doing that call. And I couldn't believe I did it. But I go into the store and the young man in there, Bamil is his name. Bamil says, Shirley, you have to do that call on the tree branch. You have to do the tree. You have to find it. I said, I'm not swinging. My ass is too fat to be doing that. I'm gonna hurt something. He said, no, like set it like you can pretend. I said, I can't do all that fancy trick stuff with the camera. And then I went out back and I saw the branch hanging. I was like, oh my God, right?
It's
Asking
there
me.
waiting for you.
Ask and the universe delivers. So I did that
Magic.
TikTok. Yeah, I did that TikTok. But it's so much fun to be able to do those things. But I started getting to know me at my fireside chats. So I
Oh,
would go out to my little pit in my backyard and I'd crank up the fire and I'd start it with the video because I didn't, and it was another fear factor, I was conquering another fear because I really hate looking at myself in the video. I'm like, oh, make yourself 20 years younger. Oh, look at that. Ooh, sexy chocolate, right?
they like pull it from the back.
Oh yeah, I'm just stretching. So I went out and I put the camera on the fire and you just saw the flames and the crackling and the water. You heard the water and I was like, oh my God, I'm not a nature person, but this was so cool. I was like, all right, so maybe I am a little country girl deep down in. And so then I started having conversations at the fire pit with Shirley. And I did that for a while at the beginning of COVID. And then I was like, all right, let me spin the camera around because my daughter's big mouth is on there. Mom, we want to see your face. Like, you know what I look like. Hush. but then I started, having conversations with people and people were chiming in. And my high school, how beautiful is this? My high school, ninth grade social studies teacher is on every one of my TikToks.
No way.
Everyone, if you see, you'll see Miss Boxley. She's still beautiful. I love her. She's my ninth grade social studies teacher in DC, where I grew up and went to school. And she's on every one of my TikToks saying, girl, you are so good. I love you. Oh my God, that's so funny. Now, if that isn't worth living for, that your ninth grade teacher
I don't
follows
even know
you.
if my ninth grade teacher would still be around. I
Oh my
guess.
God. My ninth grade teacher, she follows me. She loves my stuff. As a kid, to know that your teacher is watching you. And then my most favorite teacher in the whole wide world, she was my savior, my German teacher. I know a lot of people don't know, but I spoke German very fluently and I taught it for a year. I
Whoa,
don't
no
speak
way.
Yeah, I don't speak it as fluent now. And I did it out of anger though, because I didn't really know my full nationality and I was told I was Puerto Rican. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to take French. I don't want to take Spanish. Everybody does it. I'm an angry kid. I'm taking German. Yeah. I'm going to be a
Oh,
rebel.
das Toiletten. That's what all I know how to say.
Now I'm stuck to Guten Tag, Auf Wiedersehen, Bitte. And I can still sing O Tannenbaum.
Oh, there you go.
But so she was just so special to me. And I ended up teaching because she had had a series of miscarriages our junior year. And then it went into our senior year that she was finally pregnant and healthy. And she was given bed rest. So she
Oh,
went to the district and I forgot all that fancy footwork she had to do it. But I ended up teaching three of her remedial classes
wow.
my senior year, along with my, taking my regular schedule. And I taught her remedial classes. And like sometimes you think you know who you are again, but you don't know who you are because you forget. There's so much in life happening.
Oh
I
my gosh.
forgot. I forgot all that stuff that I had done. And she found me on Facebook. And oh my God, the first day she found me, she wrote all this beautiful stuff. And I was like, get out of here. Who are you writing about? I was in the background, like, thank God nobody on Facebook could see me read it. I was like crying, like, oh my God. But she was so special to me. And she gave me a respite um, in high school because I was so busy being, angry that my mom had died and I had to move to another place and make new friends and do all this stuff I didn't want to do. And so I focused most of my energy on learning German and teaching German and singing German and I loved her to death. And so my ninth grade history teacher and my German teacher from the 9th to 12th grade are all on my Facebook, my Instagram, and my TikTok.
That's
How
amazing.
how cool is that?
That's totally cool. Like there are teachers, so it happens a lot in school, but it happens in later life too.
Oh
Sure.
yeah,
Big Mama
and
Cheryl, like you get that person in your life and that lady in Finland who's because you're making it happen even though you don't realize it, right? You're making it happen. You're making people's lives spin and change and people have done that for you and you're now sharing that
yeah, I was
forward, right?
I was talking to this guy this morning. I was busy last 3 days.
No
Uh,
kidding.
LinkedIn has this new thing. Like if somebody volunteers me, I don't know how to say no. What the heck, right? I'm stuck at home anyway. So LinkedIn has this thing called lunch something, lunch in, lunchable, lunch something.
Really? I got to check
Yeah,
that out.
and I think it's their concept of trying to compete with Clubhouse. So you have dates, meeting people on
Lunch
LinkedIn.
dates?
So lunch dates, but you set up different times, but they call it lunch. And you have dates meeting people in different arenas or somebody you might want to do. And you have, actual Zoom. You see them through LinkedIn. It's pretty cool. I didn't even know what I was registering for. And all of a sudden it said, bing, your lunch date is here. And I'm like, oh, shit, who's Jack? Hi, Jack.
You're like, wait, so let me put some
Yeah,
clothes
right.
on.
Yeah. And I just talked to this guy who made Obama watches, who was part of the launch for the Pop Rocks candy. He's an amazing dude.
Do you remember
And I'm like,
Pop Rocks? You did it with the Coke?
yeah, I remember. I thought my head was gonna blow up. What's going on in here? Or that's how you torture your little siblings.
Yeah.
I mean, I never did that. I was just saying.
No, 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 no.
Someone else might have done that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
so I did that, and we were just talking about all these opportunities to meet people and change lives, and I'm having a blast. And I'm not going to say again, I never lie. People are like, oh, it must be nice. You have all this money. You know what? When you do the work that I do on one aspect of it, there isn't lots of money. And I don't care about that because the universe loves me because I love the universe's people. And things just like I could have nothing and all of a sudden it's like, woo, money, pennies from heaven. Like, where the hell did that check come from? Right?
Right?
Somebody owed me from a long time ago that I paid them, or an opportunity to speak comes, whatever it is. But then the other thing is in the organization that we're in, that is one of my newest things is that growing up in my home, we didn't talk about investing and in money. We were
Right.
lucky we could pay the bills. We were lucky we could keep the heat and hot water on, right?
Yeah.
I was much younger with my mom. So generational wealth is my new thing because I want to teach my babies that they can have this freedom too. My daughter is a parenting coach.
Oh,
You know,
right.
even though she's nothing like me, she says she's a parenting coach.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, have you met that kid? Have you seen her TikTok? She's the one who got me starting TikToks, by the way. It was a dare for me to do it.
And now she can't put you back in.
I know, and now she's like, Ma, I'm coming for your phone. She put it right on Facebook. Put away the TikToks. But anyway, so in this, my new thing is this generational wealth because getting research and information about companies. I used to think like investing was you had to have all this money and you had to take your money and invest in this company. I buy companies. That's what we do.
Right?
It's all about your mindset and your thinking, like I'm not on a diet. I eat better. I mean, I'm not saying I am, but that's, the mindset. That's how you have to change it. I'm not smart, but I'm reading every day, right? All of those things. It's just about how you say it and how the mind relays it.
Yeah, you have to tell yourself you have to phrase it so that your mind understands where you're going, right? You don't talk about where you don't want to go, you talk about where you do want to go. And you're right, like the research that we're getting, like I didn't used to invest my own money. I mean, but I came from a finance background, so like I understood it even though I didn't come from money. I worked in that venue, but I still didn't do it myself because it seemed so too big. But I mean, Derek, he makes everything make sense, right? And the
It does.
research is amazing,
It is. And for me, like, so remember, I just went bankrupt a couple of years ago, right?
right?
So
So
I
you
have
already got a little gun shy.
right. So technically I have no money to invest yet. I'm living my life, paying bills, doing life, and I love it. I'm good with that, right? But here's what the sexy thing is. I used to have money, which means I have an IRA and a retirement account.
Oh, right.
I manage my own account. So here we are, people who work for companies. And they're like, oh, yeah, I give to my retirement. Well, what do you give to your retirement? Money. Well, how much money? And what do they invest in? Is it
Right.
companies you would agree with? Does it align with you? Like, how much are they investing? What are they investing in? Right. And most people have no clue. I don't know. Well, how much of a return are you getting? So for me to take that knowledge back to my community, OMG, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Right?
That's like a stick of dynamite. You can't give Shirley that kind of dangerous information. I keep
She's
a
gonna blow
secret.
your brains out.
Yeah, I keep a secret. Shh, don't tell, right? So having that sitting on this like generational wealth ability to teach our children things that we weren't taught, and we're like we go buy the craziest stuff, right? We'll buy the Xbox, but we won't go and put money away so we can buy 20 Xboxes later. Urgh!
Right?
I'm not
And
angry. I'm just saying.
just saying, I took you the whole time to say that?
Yeah,
Just saying.
I
I
watched
said
the
you were the
clock.
just saying lady.
I didn't know how long we were going. I watched the clock, so I made sure I put it in before our hour was up. I don't know how long we're going. I could be here all day.
I don't know how long you can go, but I think you could probably go on forever.
That is true. Guilty as charged.
But we should probably go out and do the things that we want to do and go out and change the world. But listen, I have a new program. Like I haven't told anybody yet. I have this new program related to what we were talking about earlier, and I'm going to get you on as a guest. I'm I haven't even populated. I haven't brought my cohort in yet, but it's for women, stressed out corporate women who don't know who they are or where they're going anymore because they're all about, and I'm calling it back to me. How do you like that?
I like that. You know me.
And
My
you,
first session with them is go get you some red lingerie just for you, but no one else. Get in
right?
front of that mirror. Be like, damn, I'm sexy. Now let's go make that money.
Right?
Teach people how to
So
treat you.
when I
Oh,
get that thing fired up, you are definitely going to come in and,
no, it'll be my pleasure. So I've talked the whole damn thing. So is there anything specific though that you wanted to cover? Anything that you want to talk about?
I wanted to
Oh,
inspire people with you, because you are so
no,
inspiring and
I love you too.
because like when you bring your energy in and you just start talking and you say, I'm just saying, and I mean, like you said, all you're doing is you're sharing, this is the experience I've had, and this is what you can do. You don't have to stay back here with Bubba and what do you call him? Not Pickle. What's his name?
Fruit Loop, Fruit Loop.
Fruit Loop.
You about to say dildo? That's so funny. See, I have the power. Now that made my day. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love
It
it. I
could
love it.
be. Get off, get off, get off, get off.
I started with the whips. It's my fault.
Right?
I do.
So my whole goal in these chats is to bring people in who are going to inspire people to think different. That's and if one person watched it and said, "Oh my God, I got to go and see that lady," or "I need to get my act together," or "I need to get out of my pity party," or "Yes, I can do it," then I'm like, my job on the planet is good. Like
Awesome.
I just want people to find their direction, right, and get
Whatever
going.
works. I'm just saying, whatever works for you.
Just saying, just saying.
Yeah,
I
whatever
love
works
that.
for you.
So, where can people find you if they want to find you, Big
So
Mama
they can
Cheryl?
find me at shirleyfelder.com. They can find me on Facebook, Shirley Ann Felder. They can find me on LinkedIn, Shirley Ann Felder. They can find me on Twitter, Shirley Ann Felder. They can find me on Clubhouse, Shirley Ann Felder. In my big room right now is bread for the head. Sorry,
Bread for the
um,
head,
bread for the brain. Sorry, bread for the
bread,
brain.
bread for the bread, bread for the
Bread for the
brain.
brain. Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be doing rooms there starting next week on Tuesdays. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and I'm super find outable. And on TikTok, Shirley Ann Felder.
Shirley Ann Felder. But I thought you were Big Mama Cheryl on TikTok.
No, Big Mama Cheryl is only on Instagram. And
Oh,
what started that, I'll just say that real quick, is I wasn't using Instagram, but my kids like, you need to be on Instagram. So I was like, all right, I'll be on Instagram. And so I was like, there's too many places to do all this stuff. Leave me alone. And then Clubhouse. So I only use it for my food. So that's my laboratory Instagram. That's
Oh,
why it's Big Mama Cheryl in the kitchen, right? That's my
oh,
laboratory. So that's where you go find all my food, my secret recipes. So now it's my secret recipes for fun and food. So I do my TikToks there and I do my food there.
okay. You are one busy woman. Out
Oh,
changing the
no,
world.
yes, I'm always so busy. I just don't know what to do with myself. But I'm
Thank you,
never
my.
too busy to hang out with friends. Super duper.
I'm so grateful to you for coming and hanging out with me
I appreciate you.
and spreading your energy out into the world. And I can't wait till we can sit together live and in person again.
You and me both of them. I just like want to lick your face, right?
I'll make sure I wear something delicious.
All right.
All right.
Anything fruity, we're good. We're good. Keep
Fruity. Okay, awesome. Okay,
All
thanks.
right, beautiful. Thanks.
Have a good day.
You too.